Hello, in this video we will look at the pain pathway or nociceptor. So the pain pathway is due to the damage of tissue or some jerk or due to the damage of the bones, fracture of the bone or injury of the tissue, and that injury of the tissue will also injure the nerves, which lead to give the sensation of pain to the brain from the periphery, so the peripheral region to the brain, which that is the signal, pain signal. So here is the brain, which that is contain a somatosensory cortex and cerebellum as well as cerebrum. So cerebrum is important for the somatosensory cortex. So this is the somatosensory cortex is used for the sensation of pain also. So that's known as the pain is the basically the somatosensory cortex, which that sensation of the pain. So here let's begin to understand the cross section of the brain. So the somatosensory cortex is here. You will understand that, and inside structure is the two somatosensory cortex hemisphere, left and right. Left hemisphere and right hemisphere is known as the cortex, or on the other hand we can say that the cerebrum. So this is red color shows that the thalamus. This thalamus is the relay center of the integration and the signaling pathway relay center. So in this way, the center of the sensation of something. So here is the spinal cord. This spinal cord is, we can say that is the spinal cord. Generally we are understanding here is the motor fiber in the form of ventral ganglion, and the dorsal ganglion contain a sensory fibers. These the bundle of neurons. This is known as the ganglia. So on the other hand, here is the spino-reticular tract and the spinothalamic tract. These two tract is involved in these two tract are involving to the pain sensation. So in this way, here is for example the burning or the needle, which that is tissue damage due to the needle or burning or some other fracture of the bone, which that is lead, and it is the right noxious brain stimulus stem. So basically the right noxious stimulus. So this right noxious stimulus is basically due to the skin or joints, which that is carry the sensory nerve fiber, and these sensory nerve fibers contain a myelinated cell wrapping around the axon. So this axon wrapping around the myelination, which that is increase the velocity of the nerve impulse, and it means the quick response. And on the other hand, go into the dorsal ganglion, and that's dorsal ganglion to move inside the gray matter, and inside the butterfly like structure is known as the gray matter, and this neuron is the nerve's afferent nerve, and this, for example, the fiber first order neuron, it is the fiber first order neuron, and for example the a delta fiber, which that is myelinated and localized sharp pain, while the C fiber is unmyelinated, it means the slow, poorly localized pain. Why? Because the action potential will be jump node to node, and that's node of Ranvier, we can say that. And these sensory neurons go into the gray matter and the dorsal horn of the gray matter, and after this the synapse will be occur and produce the substance P. This substance P is used for the pain sensation of the pain, and it means the interpretation into the gray matter to move into the from the spinothalamic tract. So remember about that. And next here we will discuss about just understand for the here is the pain stimulation, for example the needle or fire or burning of the hand. So this is the left hand, for example. So remember about that, it's when damage the tissue, it means the nerves and also immune cells or the skin tissue will be damaged. So this damaging of the skin tissue produce the prostaglandin as well as the glutamate. So let's begin to understand what is that. And basically there are many chemicals will be produced on the basis of their perception of pain. So here is the perception of pain is a many type. Here we will discuss about the acute, chronic, neuropathic, nociceptive, and inflammatory pain. For example, the acute is the cardiac arrest or extreme pain, and on the other hand, the chronic is the long-term pain, and the nerve irritation is due to the neuropathic or nerve damage, while on the other hand, you can see here is the chronic pain, for example the bone pain or muscle pain, which that is the long term, long time, or not short time. But here is the neuropathic, which that is the nerve irritation or nerve damage. So the first is the nerve irritation to become a nerve damage is the second step, while here is the nociceptive is the pain which that is due to the tissue injury, and it means the degeneration and the produce of the prostaglandin, while on the other hand the acute pain or chronic pain which that's produce glutamate, which that is the basically is the used for the sensation of pain. And here is the inflammatory pain, which that is the abnormal inflammation and the prostaglandin produced from the lymphocytes as well as the other tissue. So remember about that. This substance, basically this is the for prostaglandin or the glutamate or some other substance will be produced where the tissue damage or where the inflammation occur. So this is the basic reason why. And on the other hand, when these go into the sensory neurons from the first order neuron, this is the first order neuron in the, here is the spinal cord, which that is the cervical spinal cord, for example. Why? Because the hand is used. So upper limb or upper forelimb, not hind limb, forelimb, which that is controlled by the cervical spinal cord. So here is the dorsal horn of spinal cord, which that is enter, and integration of the synapse will be occur and produce the substance P. This substance P will be give the signal to the gray matter, dorsal horn of gray matter containing nerves, and this will be spinothalamic tract. This spinothalamic tract will be move upward, and it means the upward when moving, it means medulla and pons and midbrain is occurring. So this is after the passing into the medulla, pons and midbrain toward the thalamus. Thalamus basically is the ascending pathway. So this is the ascending pathway. So remember about that. This is the medulla, pons and midbrain. And it means here is you can see that is the thalamus, and thalamus contain basically the nucleus, and this thalamus will transmit the signal to the somatosensory cortex, and this somatosensory cortex is by third order neuron. So this is the third order neuron. So let's begin to understand. Here is first of all that's a nucleus of Raffi Magnus, and here is the pre-aqueductal gray matter are present in the midbrain, while the pons contain a locus coeruleus nuclei, while in the medulla, which contain a nucleus Raffi Magnus. So this is nucleus Raffi Magnus, and here is the somatosensory cortex on the different region of the tongue, face, and hand as well. So this is the basic somatosensory cortex, which that is detect the pain, sensation of pain, and where is the injury, and detection where is the injury, detection for where, detection for the injury. So here is the movement of the signal. Basically here is the impulse will be created to move medulla to the midbrain. So here you can see in this diagram to understand. So in this go into the nucleus Raffi Magnus to the basically is the no, nuclear Raffi Magnus is not involved. It is used for the descending pathway. So here is the somatosensory cortex. This somatosensory cortex is detected by the third order neuron, and it means this is the ascending pathway. Remember about that, because it is going from the spinal cord to the move to the brain, while on the other hand, if the from the brain to the spinal cord to the brain to the spinal cord movement is known as the descending movement or descending pathway. So this was the basically is the spinothalamic tract, and this spinothalamic tract is basically ascending pathway for using of sensation of pain, while in the other on the other hand, here you can see in the blue color showing the line is the descending pathway, which that is come from the first order neuron to second order neuron, and it is point where the synapse is occurring for the sensation of pain, and you can see of the sensory neuron, and it means the sensory neurons, it is the interco co co-synaptic neuron will become. So this is the nuclear raphe magnus and the pre-aqueductal gray matter, which that is passing to the nucleus raphe magnus to the serotonergic and adrenergic nerves. This serotonergic and adrenergic nerves, which that is bind, and this binding with the serotonergic and adrenergic nerves produce the noradrenaline and serotonergic, which that is produce the serotonin as well as the SHT. So here is you can see the pain inhibition pathway, which that is the descending pathway, which that is used for the pain inhibition due to the production of the SHT and NA. SHT is the serotonin as well as the noradrenergic and serotonin. So here is the first order neuron for the sensory. So it is the sensory neuron, which that is normally impulse produce the impulse to the presynaptic to postsynaptic neuron. So produce the substance P. This substance P will be bound with the channel substance P receptor to sodium move inside to create a depolarization, to create a nerve impulse. On the other hand, here is the another descending nerve. This descending pathway will lead to synapse here, which that is the descending nerve. This descending nerve will be produced. It is known as the serotonergic or adrenergic nerves. These serotonergic or adrenergic nerves produce the SHT and NA, noradrenaline or serotonin. This noradrenaline or serotonin will be lead to inhibit the production of substance P from the presynaptic nerves, and it means on the other hand the interneuron are present here also. This interneuron produce the enkephalin. This enkephalin, basically enkephalin is the type of opioid. So there are many types of this opioid. Basically is the enkephalin is inhibit the depolarization of the postsynaptic neurons as well as the inhibit the releasing of substance P. So this is the pain pathway, which that is the nociceptor. I hope you make sense. Bye.